Hi everyone, Chris Anderson with Mount Comfort RV. We're continuing our showroom sale, and today we've pulled in a beautiful 2022 Newmar New Aire. This is the 3543 model, so 35 feet 10 inches long, I believe. And it's really going to be the most luxury short coach, if you consider 35 feet short, the most luxury short bus on the market. There's really not a true competitor to this. I mean, we carry Tiffin as well, and the Allegro Breeze is a nice short coach, but it really doesn't have this trim level, certainly not this horsepower, and some other features that we'll get into as we go through. So first of all, this is a 2022 model. This is built on a Spartan chassis. Our interior and exterior are both the Sparta schemes, respectively. And this cabinetry that we have here, this is called the Mink Rift Oak, and this is the high gloss finish. Very light coach, which I think on a smaller coach, the lighter cabinetry is good just because it does make it feel bigger in here. You know, we do a lot of 43 and 45 foot diesel pushers, but this is for somebody that doesn't want to drive such a behemoth around, but still wants that trim level. Sometimes that's a customer that's downsizing. They've had their years where they were full-timing or snowbirds, and they really loved the trim level, but they're looking for something that keeps that trim level, but maybe not in such a huge bus. That's been a demographic that we certainly knew was out there when Newmar created this coach. Then there's a second demographic that I really didn't know was out there, which is kind of first-time motorhomers that have been waiting on something of this trim level that wasn't a 45 footer, and they're getting into it as well. So it's kind of been about a 50-50 split on the coaches that we've sold these to. So that's kind of an interesting little development that happened after this came out. The first New Aires came out in 2018. They were 33 footers, and some people felt like they were underpowered. I really didn't, but some people did. So Newmar went to 35 feet in order to accommodate a little bigger engine. They put the 450 in this, so that's 450 horsepower, 1,250 foot-pounds of torque in a 35-foot coach. I mean, that is just unheard of. So that's what we're looking at here. Now, price-wise, this has an MSRP of $615,000. We're not doing that. You can see our sale price that we've marked it down for the showroom sale is $474,994. We'll call it $475 even if it makes life easier. So that's what we're looking at here. These products are leftover 2022s. They came in right at the end of the 2022 model year, and we're just looking to move them at this point. So it's your opportunity to take advantage of a tremendous price on a Newmar product. All right, let's get into this one specifically. Up front, you can see the driver passenger seats do both turn around. They both have recliners and footrests and heated seats, all of that built in. Very high-end furniture when you're in this coach, and you can feel it when you sit down on it. There's just a softness here that's not found. This is just a buttery soft ultra leather that you have on here. Our beautiful tile floor throughout. There is absolutely no carpet in this coach other than this little scrap piece I'm standing on. There's no carpet in here. This is a heated ceramic tile floor, and it's 3-zone heating, so you can kind of control it throughout. Wonderful way to heat your coach. If it's not super cold out, you can actually heat your coach with just the floor heat, and it's comfortable, and it's silent, and it's electric. So if you're in the resort and you're living off of their electricity, might as well use their electricity to heat it instead of your diesel fuel. All right, we'll get into some of the cabinetry and some of the options that you see here. We have storage up here above the driver's side window. When you look at these cabinets, they're all lined on the inside. That may be hard to see, but you'll see it as we go through other cabinets. They have hinges to keep the doors up, but also those struts to keep the door up, but those struts also pull it closed, okay? And that's gonna help prevent rattling as you go down the road. That makes everything fit nice and tight, so items aren't gonna be moving around because it's lined in there, and the doors aren't gonna be rattling because they have the felt stoppers on there and the struts pulling it down. All right, so this is a cabinet you can put some extra AV stuff in if you want to. There's other places for that also, but that's why the cabinet is ventilated at the back there. What's already naturally in here is the Wi-Fi Ranger with the LTE setup. So that's going to extend your Wi-Fi. If you have good Wi-Fi available to you, that'll get it. If not, you can go through like AT&T or T-Mobile, whatever, and get a SIM card and use a cellular plan as well. So you have some options for internet connectivity. We'll go through this. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here, but I'm just going to kind of identify what is in here. This controls our Girard awnings, both our window awnings and our Nova awnings that are on the coach. That's controlled through here. This is our over-the-air automatic antenna from Winegard. We can turn on our satellite system. This does have the in-motion satellite dish on it. That turns your Wi-Fi router off and on right here. Our entry step on and off is right here in the middle, and then we have some LED lighting under the main slide on the door side. So that'll be on your camp side. That controls that lighting. Our slide rooms in and out for our front two slides are up here. As we move over, the over-the-door awning and the over-the-door awning light are in the bottom left-hand corner here. Our privacy shades for our all the way up front here are in these next four buttons, and then we have security lights on either side of the coach. So all of that is controlled right here above the driver-passenger area, and then we have storage over here. All right. Now I do have the seats spun around, but instead of getting super in-depth in the cockpit, it's a push-button start, and you have a nice digital dashboard here, and you have tire pressure monitoring and all the things you'd expect, and of course it's hydraulic leveling and fully automatic. But one of the nice parts about this is the big screens up here. We have the 360 camera on this, and you can really see all of the different camera angles very, very well with these huge screens. The stepwell, you can see it now, but there's storage in that stepwell, and also there's a cover so that your feet aren't just dangling over the stepwell. Okay, so from the passenger seat, there's a lot of things to see here. Number one, we have the extra monitor here. So, you know, it's hard when you're the passenger to lean over here and see the GPS. You can actually see that, or the cameras right here from this little screen, and that's adjustable. Of course, I got my cup holder, my map light, all of that. My wireless phone charger for the driver and passenger side. But I'm gonna get out of the way so we can get a good shot of this. We have dual controls. I know this is, you know, not something new for automotive, but for RVs, you really don't see that very often. So the passenger has their own heating and cooling. How awesome is that? That'll keep her quiet. Sorry. We all know we don't always agree with our wives when it comes to temperature. So there you go. Everybody can have their own little temperature now and be happy. All right, that's it. All right, as we come back through here, this we optioned in with the Euro booth. So the Euro booth is the most comfortable seating we have. These do pull out for storage underneath. Okay. Both sides do that. And then the table pulls out, and there is a leaf, might be two small leaves or one big leaf, I forget, under the bed. And then there's two folding chairs that you can bring out as well. So when you do have guests, you have options to keep them nice and comfortable and give them good seating. Up above, we have storage. And then we have our AV center for our satellite receiver. We have a Bose Soundbar. So along with the most comfortable furniture in the booth area, also the theater seating is really a great way to go. Now this coach was made for two people, obviously. So for just a couple trying to get away and go see the world and have luxury accommodations while they're doing it, this coach is perfect. I'm sitting in an extremely comfortable theater seat. This obviously reclines forward and backwards. You have all your electric controls here. So love that. The cup holders are lit if you want them to be. Good spot there. And then up underneath, we have tremendous storage along with USB charging and 120 volt plug in there. All of this without ever leaving your seat. Now, take a look at the window behind me. This is a bonded window. In other words, these windows do not open. They're like a Prevost bus window. And you get a tremendous view uninterrupted by lines, screens, bars in the middle of the window. You really get a panoramic view with these windows. Now, some people will complain, I like to open my windows, and okay, sometimes people do, but for the most part, you're usually either running the heat or the air, and you don't need to open your windows as much in a coach like this. Now, if you do want fresh air, we've got you covered. There's still a screen door that you can leave your main door open, have your screen door there. There are two negative pressure fans, like a Fantastic fan, one in the kitchen, one in the bathroom. If you turn those on and have that screen door open, you're gonna feel a breeze blowing through here. That's a huge opening, and with the fans, you can absolutely pull air through here. So the benefits of having the wraparound windows, uninterrupted, unobscured cleared vision, I think it really outweighs any negatives from not having windows that open. Also, windows that open are notoriously known for, hey, that's a good spot for a whistling noise going down the road or wind noise going down the road. You don't have to worry about that with a bonded window. These are all like a windshield is put into a car, so they're not going to leak, they're not going to make noise going down the road. Straight across from me, you have that same window. So beautiful view, and with the kitchen window as well. There's just so much glass in here where you're able to take in the view. And this is, when you're looking out the booth window here, you're looking out onto your side of the campsite. That's where your friends and family and everything are going to be. Now, when you're not enjoying that view, you can press a couple of buttons here and we'll bring up our Samsung television. We have the Bose Soundbar above, we have satellite built into the roof, and then we have a Samsung television popping up here. Going to be a beautiful smart screen 4K television. And when you're sitting down at night and wanting to catch a movie or watch your favorite TV show before heading to bed, this is a beautiful way to do it. And I mean, perfect viewing angle. So many coaches, you end up turning your head hard left or hard right to watch TV. You really don't have that problem in this coach whatsoever. All right, I'll get off my butt. Let's go look at some other things. We have a fireplace here. Now that can be just a light show in many different colors like I have it now, or you can actually have it put out heat. Your choice, but that's simply a couple presses of a button to make that a secondary electric heater. So we can heat this coach with our floors if it's not too cold. We can heat this with the fireplace if it's not too cold. We even have heat pumps built into the air conditioner. So there's 3 electric sources of heat that we have. And then of course we have the diesel fired Oasis system we can use to heat the coach if we are below 40 degrees. Now we have a central vac down here also. So you can just sweep right up to that. I liked that idea so much when I recently remodeled my kitchen. We put one of those in and we love it. It's as easy as can be. Little storage space down below also. All right, and then look at this very well lit cabinet here. Whether you want to put fancy knickknacks here or use this for extra pantry space, your call. All right, and let's get into the kitchen. All right, we'll start at the top. Great upper storage, again, both with adjustable lined shelves, so whether you've got tall items or short items, you can accommodate them. Okay. All of these doors latch up tight so they're not going to be rattling going down the road. We have the 30-inch convection microwave. That's from Samsung. I think I hit the fan button accidentally when I opened it. There we go. All right, undermount sink. Very cool looking undermount sink with a pull down sprayer. All of this Corian was sanded, polished, cut at Newmar. I've got some pictures of chassis here. Ignore those for now. We're going to get into that on the outside a little bit when we talk about chassis. We have an undermount true induction cooktop. This is removable also, so if you want to take it outside, you certainly can. We have a beautiful backsplash here. Our outlets are built into the bottom side of the cabinet, so you can plug in the toaster, the blender, the margarita maker, whatever you want. Now, where this kitchen really gets impressive for a 35-footer is all the lower storage in here. We'll start with a pull-out spot for a trash can, so many coaches don't have a spot for a trash can. Then we've got storage here, a flip down here. All right. Beautiful drawers. These are dovetail. You can see that. Solid wood drawers. All right. 4 of them. Full extension, soft close, all that good stuff. And then 3 more big drawers. Here's your big partitioned silverware drawer. And then 2 more below that. All right, so tons of storage. In a 35-footer, you really have to take into account, you did if you're coming out of a 43 or 45-foot bus, you did lose some square footage here. So we have to make sure we do a good job of giving you as much storage as possible, because people don't want to leave anything behind. If they're used to having certain items with them when they were RVing in their big coach, when they go to a little smaller coach, they don't want to give anything up. All right. Before we move on going through the floor plan, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the silver leaf in the room. So this is how we control most of the functions in our coach. This is a nice little convenience center. These are light panels located throughout the coach. You'll see 5 or 6 of these in the coach in different places where they make sense to put them, where you can control lighting or your TV or your shades. That's all done through this system. But your main control system here is the Silverleaf. It's a menu-based system. From the left-hand side, you hit the home screen. It's going to tell me basically what I need to know. What's in my fresh tank, what's in my black tank, what's in my gray tank, my house and chassis battery voltages, and then how much amperage I'm using on each leg of power that's coming into the coach. So that's going to do my energy management in here as well. My generator control is in here along with my auto generator start settings. That's all controlled here. I can get into specifics as far as my inverter goes and how much, what type of plug I'm plugged into, and load shed. That just means what items are being turned off in order to keep me under my rated amps there, which is, we're on a 30 amp service now, so it's going to do everything energy management wise to keep me under 30 amps. So all of that is controlled through this screen. You can get in depth with the water, turn your water pump off and on in here, turn on the autofill feature so your tanks are full the next day when you're ready to go. And then of course my climate is controlled here, as well as my Oasis system. Now this is an all electric coach, which means there's no propane system, but you can heat this coach and you heat your water off of the Oasis system, which can run off of either electricity or diesel fuel, either one. So that's all controlled through here as well as my block heater. So if I know, like today, it's like 19 degrees outside in Indiana. If I was leaving tomorrow morning and this coach was sitting outside, I would certainly turn on my block heater so the engine starts easier, it's less wear and tear on the engine, and you get heat out of the dashboard quicker that way. My floor heat that we mentioned earlier is in here as well, and we can even go and see some of the cameras located around this coach. I can kind of cycle through the different views that you can see outside of the coach. So you can use this for security purposes or you know, whatever you want. See, there's somebody walking up on us right now. So that's a little bit about the Silverleaf system. You'll pick this up very quickly. It's easy, and it is a very programmable system as well. As motorhomes evolve, as we get into things like lithium batteries and stuff like that, the Silverleaf system can be reprogrammed to adapt to that also. So lots to talk about there. All right, we'll finish the kitchen by talking about the pantry here with all the 6 pull-outs. Again, these are adjustable in height. If you wanted to change those, you absolutely could. It's a lit pantry, beautiful. And then we have our Samsung LED refrigerator with lower freezer and ice maker in it. All right, residential, all residential stuff. All right, so let's talk about the bathroom. As we enter the bathroom, it's roomy. I'm going to step up into here. I have room in this shower head as well. We also have our water miser system, which allows you to turn water on without it coming out of the faucet. It starts circulating it back to the fresh water tank, which is going to, get our water hot quicker. So when we turn this faucet on, it'll be instantly hot. Number one. Number two, it's not going to use our fresh water. Number three, it's not going to fill our gray tank. So there's a lot of benefits to the water miser. We have a seat here if you want to shave your legs. You've got a beautiful seat to do so on. And then we even have built-in for your body wash, conditioner, shampoo. All of this comes with the coach. It's all beautiful tile in here. Nice grab handle. Yeah, nice shower. Behind the toilet, we actually have the emergency egress door. We've done other videos on this. If you want to see, if you haven't seen this, I can show you right now that it does. Opens up like so, and then you pull this little tab and a ladder telescopes out of the bottom of the door there, so you can crawl out that way as opposed to jumping out a window. But we did separate videos on that where we demonstrate that. So if you want to see that, just look up on YouTube, Mount Comfort RV emergency egress door. Macerating toilet. So macerating toilet just means that it grinds it up and shoots it to the tank, propels it to the tank instead of just being a gravity feed. That's beneficial for a couple of reasons, but the big one is you're not going to have any instances of cloggage, and number one. Number two, and your waste is broken down before it even gets to the fresh water tank, which makes it easier to control, dissolve, all that good stuff. All right, the fun stuff we talk about, right? Okay, look at our storage in here. A lot of these bathrooms are so small that Troy and I don't both go in them at the same time. This one, we can actually both be in here. So decent sized little bathroom. All right. I like that there's countertop space here. So there for the lotions and potions. There's even an outlet inside of the medicine cabinet here, so if you want to plug in a hair dryer or like a rechargeable beard trimmer or something along those lines, you can. And I love the light that is built into the mirror. There we go. All right, this has a pocket door. On the back of the pocket door, you have to take my word for this one. There's a nice full-length mirror on the back of the pocket door here. There you go. It's heavy, it's solid, it's not a hollow core door. All right, let's head to the bedroom. But before I let you in, take a look at this. Great looking door from both sides. Come on into the bedroom. One of the benefits of going to the 35-foot New Aire as opposed to the original New Aires, which were 33 feet, is it did accommodate a king bed. So not only did we get a bigger engine, we went to a king-size bed as well. And then underneath the bed, we're going to have storage. All right, it was 2 small leaves. I said on the booth, when we did the booth, I wasn't sure. There they are, 2 small leaves. So you can either go to small, medium, or large on the table. All right. Let's look at our storage here. This is a little different than a lot of Newmars. You actually have cabinets on either side of the TV as opposed to a wardrobe on either side of the TV. This one is obviously prepped for AV. If you want to put a satellite receiver back here, you certainly can. And then we have 6 drawers. 3 like this. 3 like this. That's big. All right. On either side of the bed, you have these nightstands. All right, I'm going to open that up. There's actually an outlet in there. And the reason they do it that way is you can plug in your little cell phone charger in there, bring the cord out right here in this slot, and just have the cord hanging out so you can charge your device all night long. Makes it nice and easy. Getting my exercise today. We would not forget the stackable washer and dryer. Let me get out of the way. These are the Splendide models. Much better than the all-in-ones. People greatly prefer those. And then, take a look in our back closet here. There's our 2 extra chairs. These are our lighting control boxes back here. You really won't touch those. But below that, you have little shoe cubbies. I think we have a little safe back in the corner. We do, yeah. And then, look how neat this wiring and everything is. Anybody that's had an RV and seen the mess that some companies do with their wiring and their electrical, it's a little scary. This is how Newmar does it. So it's all organized, it's beautiful. They do a great job. All right, so that's the inside of this New Aire. Oh, I forgot, look at the bonded windows around the bed. Padded headboard, bonded windows. Beautiful. All right, now, let's close up the slides and show you what this coach looks like with the slides in. All right, the slides are in. Let's see what we can get to. All right, so can I get to my pantry? Absolutely. Anything I want to get out of here, I easily could. Can I get to the fridge? Well, you have to kind of pick which side you want to get to, this side or this side, but absolutely you can get to your fridge, get what you want. I could even get to my ice cream. You're not hiding my Ben and Jerry's from me. I can get to that right down in there easily. I can get to my stove and cook if I want to. Don't cook going down the road, folks. It's not a great idea. Convection microwave, easy to get to. Plenty of room in here. I mean, with the pocket door, you're strolling into the bathroom. That's easy. So the snuggest part is right here, and it's not bad. There's a lot worse than this out there. I'd give this a B- C+ as far as room, and the only reason for that is it's a little snug right here. The theater seating is the most comfortable seating. It's also the deepest seating, so with everything we do, there's a trade-off in RVs. So that's the trade-off right there. I still think it's a win. Beautiful coach. Let's show you the outside and what makes a New Aire a New Aire. Okay, starting with the front right of our 3543 New Aire, we're going to walk down this side, then we'll do the other side. We'll show you everything we can show you. All right, bonded windshield, one piece. Of course, you would expect that, but what you don't see is an H gasket here. A lot of manufacturers just use what's called an H gasket. It's a floating windshield, and sometimes they float themselves right out if you level the coach in properly and get the coach in a little bit of a twist. With a bonded windshield, again, this is just like automotive. You don't have to worry about that. There's a little slot here where our flagpole goes, so that gets you can fly your favorite colors. There is a clear film over the entire front of the beautiful masterpiece finish. It's hard to see, but it's right there. And that's going to protect against those pesky bugs down in Florida, and also small rocks and chips and stuff like that. We have cameras all over this thing. We can look up at the very top there. You're going to see a camera. That's part of the 360 camera that gives you a bird's eye view around your coach. You can see that from here. You can also see the cameras on the sides for turn signal activated cameras. As we come around here, you see this coach is optioned in with the stainless steel package. So the steps, all the baggage doors all the way around. When this is out in the sunshine, it really looks like $1,000,000 that way. We have keyless entry. You can program your own code, have a doorbell even. I know you were looking for the doorbell, but this way you can actually not have to have your keys on you at all times. I mentioned earlier the screen door. There's the screen door. The screen actually pulls down from the top, okay? And then I also mentioned that there's storage in the steps. Looky there. Storage. We're storing a dead fly right now. If you buy today, no extra charge for the dead fly. Just saying. All right, don't forget, if you are interested in this coach, don't forget to ask for me when you call in. That's obviously an important part of what we do here. I don't like to dwell on it, number one. Number two, if you're just kind of learning and learning about motorhomes and maybe someday, give us a like, give us a follow if you would, please. That helps populate our videos on the internet, and even if you're not buying today, it'll still help us out if you're enjoying what we do here. All right, commercial time's over. Notice how far this freezer or refrigerator, you can set it to do either one, not both, either one, refrigerate or freeze. Notice how far it pulls out. Well, the reason for that is, that way even when the slide room is fully extended, you can still get in here. So pretty slick deal there. This runs off of either 120 volt AC current or 12 volt DC current when you're going down the road. Either way. Dual fuel fill on this coach, so you can fill your tank from either side. That's important because when you're in the fuel station, kind of the last thing you want to worry about is which side your fuel fill is on. And this way you just find the open pump with a good exit strategy, and you can go on about your business. These are Alcoa aluminum rims, and those are big old diesel tires. That's the technical term for them. Those are 22.5-inch tires, but they're 305s. You know, a lot of diesels might be like 265, 275 tires. That's not nearly as big a profile tire as this. This bus is not a lightweight 35-foot bus. In fact, it's kind of a heavy 35-foot bus, but the heavier bus is, the better it rides and drives. Obviously, there's plenty of horsepower here to push it down the road, but with the weight of it and with the cargo carrying capacity, which is over 4,000 pounds with this coach, with the cargo carrying capacity of this coach, you want to have the bigger, heavier duty tires to carry you down the road and make your ride that much smoother. So there you go. Those are Michelin's. You'll love them. Moving on. What makes a New Aire is the fact that it has this an equivalent storage to like a 40-foot bus, but it has it in a 35-foot bus. Well, how do we accomplish that? Well, Newmar, this was a clean sheet project for them back in 2018, and what that means is it wasn't a, hey, let's take the old Country Star and we're going to dress it up and we're going to put some fancier furniture in it and go that route. Or we're not going to take a Dutch Star and we're going to shrink it down. This was not any of those. This started as a blank sheet of paper. I spent some time talking to Ron Stichter at Newmar, who's the main engineer for this, and it really kind of blew me away when we were talking to him, because the first thing I had heard rumors of this coach coming out, and I had a pamphlet on it that they had sent out, kind of a teaser, and it said it was going to be built on a straight rail chassis. Well, all the other Newmars at that time were built on a raised rail chassis. So I'm like, straight rail, I'm not sure, because, you know, straight rail chassis, that's like a gas coach. That's the storage is only going to go, you know, 18 or 30 inches in or so, and then you're going to have that big frame rail right in the middle of it. So I get my eyes on the very first New Aire, and I was like, oh, it's a raised rail coach. What are they talking about? They had a typo. So I went to Ron and said, Ron, you've got a typo. No, I don't have a typo. It's a straight rail chassis. I'm like, Ron, come on, I've been doing this a long time. It's not a straight rail chassis. And we argued a bit, and then he played the ultimate trump card on me and said, Chris, we cut it out. I'm like, excuse me? We cut the frame rail out. I'm like, ugh. You can't just go cutting frame rails out. Well, you can when you have the STAR Foundation. We've talked about this in previous videos. The STAR Foundation, STAR stands for Strong, True, and Robust, is the bridging system that Newmar uses that goes over the top of the existing chassis, be it a Freightliner or in this case a Spartan, bridges over the top of them, gets all welded into place, and it's so strong and there's so much steel there that Once it's all welded in place, they didn't need the center section of the frame rail anymore. So to create more storage, they cut it out. And this was always the plan with this product. And what takes it kind of a step further is things like this main slide. Instead of having all the slide motors and gears and everything down here in the basement, they're under the booth. So the electronics and the gearing and everything for the slide rooms are actually either alongside the walls or actually hidden inside the coach somewhere above the floor level, as opposed to being in the basement where it's hanging down into your space. So let's take a look. Look at these pass-through storages that you have in here. It's really an incredible amount of storage in a 35-foot bus. Now you can see these frame rails right here. Okay, this is part of that star foundation we're talking about. That's what transfers the weight from out here on the wall where you need the strength because of the slide rooms, but it transfers it right back to the center rail of the coach. That lowers your center of gravity, that gives you the strength you need, and then they cut the center rail out and look at the cavernous storage on the inside. So that's what makes a New Aire different than any other product in the marketplace. It's even different than all other Newmar products. There's not another Newmar product that is built like the New Aire is, where they cut the center section out. So I lost the bet. It is a straight rail chassis, and they cut it out. There's your education for the day. All right, moving on. We have a beautiful TV mounted, Samsung, Bose, all that good stuff, mounted on a swivel arm right out here, beautifully recessed back into the wall. Look at the paint job. Actually, this paint job, some salespeople here like it, some don't. Green's my favorite color, so this is kind of an olivey color right here. I love it. You never see green in coaches. You do in this one. As we look at this, there's some things bolted to the side of the coach I want to point out. Over your main windows, both in the bedroom and in the kitchen and dining room area, you actually have Girard power awnings there. You have an over the door awning as well. The slide toppers are not like the Dometic that they use on everything else. These are actually Girard slide toppers as well. And then that very top rail at the very top, it's not black, it's above the black up there. That's actually your 2 Girard Nova awnings. We'll get those opened up here for you in just a little bit. As we work our way back, look at the way this coach fits. The slide out is actually recessed back into the sidewall. That reduces any chance for wind noise. It's a much better fit. It eliminates the sloppiness of it, eliminates chances for leaks, that type of thing. More storage here. All of the compartments are lit. It's hard to see in some compartments. It's pretty easy to see in this one. Whenever you open any one door, all of the lights in the basement come on. All right, we're going to move back. Now on the Spartan chassis, one of the advantages of Spartan is they really do a good job of putting your filters where it's easy to get to everything. They try to make it extremely serviceable for the end user. These are our disconnects. If you do put your coach in storage, you can disconnect the chassis batteries, which are the batteries that we see right here. Now, something you won't see on other short buses, diesel pushers, is they're all going to be rear radiators, where this is a side radiator. When you get into your higher end buses, people like to get the radiator off to the side for a couple of reasons, but the main one is so you can actually see and get to the engine. Look how easy this accessibility is. If we broke a belt on here, you can actually get in there and change the belt. You could change a hose. You can, do some of your own service if you're interested in that, or even if you're not interested in that, it's going to cost you less money to have the technician do it later. You can't see them, but you're going to have to take my word. Back in these corners, there's drains in here. What are they draining from? Well, the roof on most coaches, water just runs off of the side of the coach. That's not the case here. We don't have water running down the side of our beautiful paint job. There's actually drains built into the roof, and then it drains down the 4 corners of the coach and just runs out on the ground in the corners. So you're not going to have all those water spots once you get your coach all beautiful and polished up. You don't have to worry about that any longer. This coach does have a 10,000 pound towing capacity for flat towing. And we even have the air chuck already built into it. So if you have a toad, or you're going to get a toad that has like an Air Force One air braking system in it, the coach half of that's already done, so you're good to go there. Okay, up front we have our 8 kW Onan diesel generator. Very quiet. It's a smart gen, which means that if it has any problems, it'll actually diagnose itself. In most cases, it has built-in onboard diagnostics. We have a red dial right here. That's our hot water to generator option. So what that does for you is it gives you hot water in the generator compartment. So when you're cleaning bugs off your windshield, easier to do it with hot water than cold. Our air horns are up here. We even have air hookup up here so that if we want to plug in a hose and air up tires or beach toys or whatever you want to air up, you can do that off of the coach. You don't have to have a separate compressor. Moving on around, it's a very sunshiny day. Sorry if you're getting some reflection off my head. This is our Spartan chassis fuses right up here in this compartment. So if you ever have any type of chassis related fuse blown, you can access it here. Newmar even gives you spare fuses to address that. The exhaust pipe you see here is for the generator. As I mentioned, dual fuel fill. Here's the other half of that. So this is our battery compartment. We have 8 AGM. AGM stands for absorbed glass mat batteries. They're not a typical wet cell battery like you're used to, where you have to top them off and fill them and maintain them. You don't have to do that. You can actually mount these batteries upside down if you wanted to. We don't like mounting batteries upside down, but you could if you wanted to. And AGM batteries are going to have, since you don't have to worry about boiling the fluid out of them like a true lead acid battery, then we get better life out of them because people don't forget to maintain them, if that makes sense. So moving back a compartment, this little cubby right here, that's where our sewer hose goes. And then next to that, that's our inverter you can see sticking down in there. So pretty easy access to the inverter should it ever need any service. We have our pass-through storage here. To the other side, you can see that tray. And then we get into some of the exciting stuff. So in this compartment, there's a lot here. First of all, there is our central vac. That's where we would empty our bag. I showed it to you on the inside, but this is where we would actually change the bag on the outside. Our shore power cord is a 50 amp cord, and it is on a reel. This coach does have a built-in surge protector built into the transfer switch as well. So that's one less item that you might not have to buy. So surge protection built in. Our Oasis system, think about this, and we did a separate video. If you want to look up and learn more about hydronic heating, just look up Mount Comfort RV hydronic heating video on YouTube, and we went into the basic principles of that. But think of it like an apartment building, and this is the boiler room in the basement. That's what this box does, and it heats the fluid either with diesel fuel or electricity, either one. And then there's a couple loops on the system. One of them is our water loop that, we get nice hot water out of the faucet. The other is a closed loop that circulates around and actually heats the coach up. The floors that I mentioned, those being heated, those are heated with an electric blanket that's underneath the tile. They are not heated by the Oasis system. All right, now, this setup right here, there's a little hookup out here in case the campground has park cable at the campground. That's where you would plug into their cable. All right, moving on along. This stainless steel bay here is our wet bay. Now there's a lot to talk about here. I don't want to get too far in the weeds. This isn't the most exciting part, but I'm just going to hit the highlights. Every drop of water that comes through this coach goes through the whole house water filtration system. So you're going to get your water filtered before it ever even gets to you. We have everything you would ever need out here. We can drain our hot and cold water lines out here. We can control whether we're filling our tank or running off city water right here as well. We even have a water spigot, just like a spigot on the outside of your house. We have a flush for your black and your gray tank out here. So that's a beautiful thing. And then our water hose is actually on a reel as well. You can see this exhaust pipe. That's for the Oasis system, by the way. So there's 3 exhaust pipes on here, one for the engine, one for the generator, one for the hydronic heating system. And then this coach can be dumped a couple of different ways. Okay, here's our main gravity dump right here. And even though that pipe is exposed, notice the way they protected it by recessing it up into that compartment. But the knife valves, which are the important part, those are up here. Okay, those are in the heated compartment. This space is heated. This is a 4-season coach, and they kept those knife valves inside so they don't freeze. Most of the time, you'll probably dump with just your standard gravity feed, just like you would a travel trailer or a fifth wheel or most other motorhomes. But you do have options here. This coach was optioned in with the macerator on it as well, which is this guy right here. This is a hose that stretches, and you can even hook a garden hose, not your fresh water hose, a garden hose up to this as well and dump over a greater distance if you want to. A macerator, we mentioned on the inside, macerating toilet. Well, this has a second macerator, so as it comes out of the tank, it gets ground up again, but mostly it's already ground up anyway, so because it's a macerator, it's going to grind it again, and then there's a water pump on the macerator as well that shoots it on down the line. Not into your neighbor's campsite. It's frowned upon at 9 out of 10 campgrounds, and you don't want to go to the 10th one. All right, so pink stuff in the hose. This is RV antifreeze. The Newmar coaches are very easy to winterize, so you shove that down into a bottle, turn a couple of valves, and it will suck the juice right out of the bottle and into your coach to get your lines all set for winterization. We have hot and cold water out here to wash up with. We even have a touch screen here that tells us our tank level, so if you're filling your fresh water tank, you can tell how full it's getting without running back and forth inside. All right. Come back a little further. This is our DEF tank, DEF, diesel exhaust fluid. This is part of the emissions on the engine. Any engine made since about 2010 is going to have this. If you're not familiar with diesel exhaust fluid, you want more information on it, let me know. I can definitely get into the weeds on that with you if you need be. But the big thing is it's not going to be a huge expense for you. It's about a gallon of DEF for every 50 gallons of fuel that you use. So you will have to fill it. You do have, it is something you have to deal with, but it's not a tremendous amount. So that's a little bit about our New Aire. You can see I told you side radiator. There it is. You can see it here on the side. More window awnings, or one more window awning here. You can see it right up there over the main living room window. So let's open those main awnings and show you what those look like. Okay, we've opened up not only our window awnings, and they have LED lights on them, but we opened up our main Nova awnings as well. Notice the Nova awnings, they don't just come straight out, they kind of bend in the middle and bend down, and that gives you that much more shade. Now that's not nearly fully extended. We're kind of limited in the showroom here, but those will go out probably another 4 feet or so anyway. So this is all awning on this side of the coach. This is where you spend your time. This is where your family is. This is where you're going to be in your bag chair out here enjoying your time. All right, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed our Newmar New Aire. If you're interested, don't forget to ask for me. Give us a call. My name is Chris Anderson. I'm with Mount Comfort RV.